One more day in the world of crypto with DeFi IoT. Let's talk a little bit about the new inflation report that came out on the CPI. How's that going to affect cryptocurrency? What's cryptocurrency market doing now? And what's that going to do for us down the road? Let's talk a little bit about that. That's going to affect crypto. Here's how. Let's jump right into the screen. I want to go in here. I'm just going to read this to you a little bit. Look, the annual inflation rate in the U.S. accelerated to 8.5% in March, this last month, right? 2022, the highest rate since December of 1981, from 7.9% in February. So inflation's on the rise. And that's really obvious. You know, we don't need this CPI basket, this to be able to tell us that inflation actually is here and it's real. But I want to read this to you because there's some lies in here that, you remember here at DeFi IoT, we try to be very real about everything. And how is this going to affect us economically in the future? Maybe some things we should prepare for. And what's this going to do with cryptocurrency? Or what should we expect it to do, like with Bitcoin, for example, right? Let's keep reading here a little bit. And compare with the market forecast of 8.4%. So they expected it to rise. The Fed did. Energy prices increased 32%. That's not to be surprising with all the sanctions going on. Namely, gasoline went up 48% and fuel oil 70%. Here we go. Here's the blame. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine pushed crude oil prices higher. Now, there's your lie. Because the fact is that the lockdowns for 2 years, killing the economy, as many professionals warned, are what are causing the supply chain problem right now. And that's what's causing inflation, right? It's the supply and demand. People want it, the money's out there, and the demand is there, but the supply is little. Why? Because they're just not back to work yet. Even in China, they're still shutting down their ports. Even in Hong Kong, not too long ago, they shut down the ports, saying we have another outbreak of COVID in China. And they're taking these draconian, extreme measures in China right now, when the Chinese people are just like lost their freedoms completely. So you're seeing that still be played, and that's taking effect on the world scene. Now, you can say, all right, Russia go into Ukraine, but that wasn't the issue here. The issue is the sanctions that Joe Biden, along with Canada and European Union, took to shut everything down in the rest of the world after we just came off of 2 years of not having an economy functioning, really, okay? So let's keep this real of what it is. Now remember, the CPI, what is this actually? Well, it's actually it's a basket of goods that they use. Let's say you go to the supermarket and you go in shopping and you buy meat and you buy your bread, you buy all your basics you need to sustain you, right? All these stable items you need to sustain yourself and what normally people buy, cheese, etc. Well, they price that. They price that, and then like month to month, they'll price it, and then they compare it over the last year, and then they can get an indication of what inflation rose or did not rise. For 2 years now, the Fed did not raise interest rates. And that basically, that interest rate is what banks usually, how much they charge between each other, and that will reflect on us when we go buy a mortgage. That's why on our project we're doing right now in North America, we need to get this land sold because interest rates rose. That took basically a loan from about 2% to 4 to 5% in some banks, right? So you're going to pay 2%. Now you're going to pay 4 to 5% on a 30-year loan. Now, they come out again, the Fed comes out in May to actually raise interest rates again, which they're indicating they would do, and it looks like they will. Let's see now if they go to a 50 basis points. In other words, a half a percentage point. Let's see how that's going to affect us. So if we jumped just a quarter of a percentage, 25 basis points, we jumped in this last Fed hike raise, and you saw interest rates go up to 4 and 5%. Are we going to go into 7, 8% now? 9%? Where are we going to go? So what's that going to do to the real estate market? So then where does that put cryptocurrencies? Let me finish reading this a little bit. Then we'll jump into what cryptocurrencies. So they're blaming the Russian invasion in Ukraine, which really has nothing to do with it. It's the sanctions that have something to do with it and everything preceding that. They need a scapegoat. Here's the scapegoat, right? This is great. Also, food prices jumped 8.8%. I think that they actually are higher. Oh, by the way, that CPI index, this is actually wrong. You could actually probably double this price around there. It's probably about 16 to 17% inflation, actually, because they changed the CPI basket. And some people say, well, yeah, well, they moderate it with time, et cetera, et cetera. Well, yeah, but that's not the staples. My milk doesn't change, my cheese doesn't change. They take meat, for example. They take a steak that people would buy normally, and they put in a cheap hamburger meat instead of it and lower that price so they can keep that number lower to cause us to feel the inflation is really not that bad. But we can see it. Look at gasoline. The one week I was going back and forth to the project, I'd drive an hour and a half either way. I would go up during the morning and come down at night. It was 8 to 10 cents higher. And they did that like every day for like 7, 8 days in a row. It was like, wow. So it came down a little bit now. Well, that's interesting. It came down right as we're going to measure. Let's see what it does. Now, here's what they go on to say, which I think is another deception. And this is where it's going to come to cryptocurrencies, right? Talking about the accelerated, also inflation accelerated for shelter, 5%. In other words, that's like housing, right? 5%, 4.7%. New vehicles, 12%. 12.5 from 12.4, so not much, right? You had a very little increase also in housing, but it eased for used cars and trucks a little bit. You see the big ease, about 6%, excluding volatile energy and food categories. Well, that's interesting because we need those food categories, right? CPI rose 6.5%. So excluding the volatile energy, what we need, right? Gas, for example, in food categories, CPI rose 6.5%. The most in 40 years, but slightly below forecast of 6.6%. Many analysts expected. Now they kind of docked it up, making it, well, it wasn't as bad as we expected. It was, it was like we expected, but it wasn't that much more. Hey, this is pretty bad, you guys. And if this keeps going like this, and the Fed comes back and measures this every month, right, or every 8 weeks or 6 weeks. If we're going to come back and look at this and it's going to continue to grow like this, they're talking about now that this is our peak. How can I say it's our peak? First of all, a couple months ago, they're saying, no, this is all transition. This is transitory. We're not going to have inflation. And now, oh, yeah, but we already hit our peak. But it's the war's fault. Well, the war's not ending. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So what can we do about it? What's that going to do with crypto? Well, you saw Bitcoin down today, down a little over about 1,000, down in the upper 39 to low 40 categories. You're seeing Ethereum's down a little bit too. So it did kind of affect it. Now, Bitcoin really should not be affected by inflation. It was built to be an inflation hedge. Problem is, here's the problem, that you have a lot of people involved in cryptocurrencies that don't understand cryptocurrencies and consider it to be volatile. And you have a lot of institutional investors now in cryptocurrencies. And this is what always my big concern was. It's great, it's getting institutionalized because it's more widely accepted, but the bad downside is it's going to be treated like anything else. They'll just dump it if they think it's actually going to go down, right? So it's like in a stock. If you think a company is going to come out with a bad report, you're going to sell off your stock before you take a hit, and then you're going to accrue your gains, your earnings, while you still can. And that's the same thing that's happening now because of these institutional investors and a lot of people who really don't know. So please, I know you guys are listening, subscribe to us. You guys understand, but spread the word to everybody else out there. Explain what crypto's about. Bitcoin is going to continue to exist. I'm going to show you some reasons why. Another video I'm going to do here after this one is that I'm going to do a video that's going to tell you exactly what the World Economic Forum plan is, show you actually what they wrote about in Forbes magazine, what's coming up, how they want everything to be in a city. And there's going to be those who are not going to live in the city. They're going to be pointed out as the cause of those that are creating viruses or creating diseases or problems or injustice and inequality in the world, be those that want to live in the country, right? I'm going to show you that where they actually stated these things. You can go on their website and see these 8 points on the World Economic Forum. They came out in Forbes a few years back. I want to share with you what they actually talked about. And this is where we're going with this, because they need this to crush the economy, to create this great reset. In this great reset, they want a centralized digital currency. right? Well, countries, including Vladimir Putin, didn't want that anymore. He was on board with it. He jumped off of it. And that's one of the main reasons why the European Union, as well as the United States, Canada, and others, have teamed up to actually blame Putin for what he did in Ukraine. There's actually more to that story I won't go into today, but Putin was actually claiming territory because there were other attacks going on that the media wasn't telling you about from the people who are playing the victims right now. What's that do for cryptocurrency? Well, it showed in this war where cryptocurrency works. It actually showed a lot of people had to leave, the banking systems collapsed, and people were able to sustain themselves because they had their cold wallets, or they're able to access the wallets with their codes, right? With their passcodes, their keys. This will strengthen cryptocurrency, but I think we're going to divide us in two. We're going to have those who want to be centralized and those who want to become decentralized. We're on that decentralized bandwagon. I will not go centralized. I will not live in the big city where we're going to sell our land. It's already in the countries it is, but I'm going to get it out of a blue state and put it into a red state. Not to be, I'm not to offend anybody, but I want that freedom and I want to be in a state that's going to protect my assets. What do I think cryptocurrency is going to be from all of this? Okay, right now it's going to have to take, Bitcoin's going to one day have to take its own course. And it will, I think, what's being forced to now, even though they're trying to centralize it more and the large institutions do that, I still believe Bitcoin will go beyond that and get past that and will divide out. And other people who don't feel so secure are going to jump on Ethereum, and they're going to go with Ethereum and centralize and go with digital currencies, as well as that I think you're going to have the same people who want to live outside those cities, live in the country, be that problem that World Economic Forum says we're going to become, and we will exchange in Bitcoin or other decentralized currencies. That is why we continue to go with our GPU and ASIC mining farms. Well, GPUs mostly, we're going to add ASICs as we go on this year, as well as we'll start doing some day trading with bots, etc. DeFi IoT, this report came out. Doesn't surprise me. This is why we're trying to get off our house when we can, or our land we have with our group of investors, so we can buy our land in another state and build our crypto mining farm. We hope this helps you. Subscribe a little bit. Look, we have a positive outlook. Right now, you're going to see the yo-yo, up and down, up and down. But long term, I think we still feel really bullish on cryptocurrency. You're seeing that because the governments are embracing it too. It's not going anywhere, right? There's other factors out there that have proven that cryptocurrencies do work, and we can be outside that banking system. And many people are waking up to it just over the last 4 or 5 months. It's been incredible the advance that cryptocurrency has made. Inflation's on the rise. We knew that was coming. What can you do? Hey, stock up on canned goods. Stock up on items that are not perishable, right? Stock up on items that will last a while. Rotate them and keep stocking up on them. Take a little extra money every month and start putting it away. It's better to be prepared and nothing major takes place. We're all wrong on this. Than not to be prepared and this economy just tanks. DeFi IoT, stay with us. Hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Give us your comments. But you know what? Any negative comments, I don't read them. I just go right past them. I just look at that as ignorance, right? If you want to be constructive and you want to help us out and you want to be critical in a way that you could help us grow and help the community grow, then put your comments down there. Otherwise, just keep it to yourself, man, because I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Somebody tell me, oh, get a life, man. You're being negative. I'm being real. Well, maybe the person who gets a life is that person who's being negative. I'm just being real. I'm just trying to give you the truth. That's what we do here at DeFi IoT. So if you want the truth and you want to stay with an intelligent YouTube channel it doesn't FOMO, we don't get paid to do anything, then subscribe to this one here because we take pride in researching and bringing the truth. Are we perfect? Nobody is. But when we make a mistake, we'll come back and say, we screwed up. Like with Planet Watch. We screwed up big time with Planet Watch. That was a big faux pas, as my dad used to say, with Planet Watch. And I'll do another video on that this week, showing you people exactly where those devices are. Because we got blasted for having so many devices. Having so many devices ourselves and depriving other people of devices. We aren't depriving anybody. Like people are returning the devices. And you can return yours too if you have them less than 30 days, by the way. You're aware devices. Now, we're going to show you the people that Planet Watch affected. I'm going to take you to their homes and show you these poor people, these native people that Planet Watch affected, and they invested their hard-earned money, all they had saved. These people make $200-300 a month, some $400 a month, and they bought 1 month's worth of salary. They bought in Aware. I didn't hike it up for them. I just brought it down here for them, helped them hook it up. And they got shafted. Now, That is going to affect many other of these projects too, especially with inflation, because it's going to hit profit margins. And there's not going to be a lot of companies out there going to want to take risks. So keep that in mind when you're going forward with any other crypto projects. Helium, we think, is a safe bet. And we're going to double down on Helium. There's some others we're looking into now. You got your cloud data storage. We're going to Las Vegas, as you know, to see what the SC Prime booth is. I know that Nerdy Do Stuff's going to be there, kind of like, you know, airing for them. We're going to be there. We talked about we're going to be there a long time ago. We're going to go there as well. But we're not going to be stuck in one place. We're going to go and try to find who else is out there and other opportunities. So please subscribe, follow us. We're going to Vegas next week, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this segment of our video with DeFi IoT. Remember, we're not professional advisors. We do this as a business, as a hobby, and we study, we experiment, and we want to share it with you. If you can get some benefit from this, great. What we do is we go out, we purchase with our own money, and we experiment to see what true results are. We want you to be able to share in our experiences so you don't have to lose like we have. If you can win where we've won, fantastic. Remember to do your own research and your own homework. It's very important before you make any decisions. We will see you in our next video.